This is ACC basketball with Clemson, Duke, Georgia Tech, Maryland, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Wake Forest. This live coverage is brought to you by Natural Light, by the Jefferson Pilot Corporation, by Piedmont Airlines, by Holiday Inn, by MAZDA, by Belk and Leggett Stores, and by Central Fidelity Bank.
You are looking live at jam-packed and emotion-filled Carmichael Auditorium, where Duke will take on North Carolina this afternoon as three Carolina seniors close out their regular season home career. Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Corrigan. Along with Dan Bonner, we're set to bring you another great ACC game. The emotional aspect of this game, Dan, well, it's obvious by the fact of looking at Cecil Exum when he was introduced to the crowd, broke down in tears. This is an important game for North Carolina and a big game for Duke.
It's a very important game for North Carolina. They've got an opportunity to become the first ACC team in 10 years and the first Dean Smith coach team ever to finish undefeated in the regular ACC standings.
For the Duke Blue Devils, they are trying to find out where they're going to set themselves up for the ACC tournament next week. Of course, Wake won the game a moment ago in front of us, and so now Duke really in a situation where they have to try and come up with a win here at Carmichael to get the top seed that they could possibly get for the tournament next week. Dan and I will be back with the starting lineups and the opening tip-off right after we take this timeout.
Sakes alive, we've got value at your local Mazda dealers now.
Here's the latest reason why we've got one of today's best truck values, the new Mazda B2000 SE5. At $59.95, SE5's a sporty truck priced down with some other people's base trucks. It's got a 5-speed, radials with spoker wheels, sporty stripes, dual sport mirrors, and a step bumper, all standard, and all for just $59.95. Get a lot of value at your local Mazda dealers today.
Sometimes flying those bargain airlines can be expensive.
That'll be $3 a bag.
Like when your luggage has to pay its own way, or when you have to go outside to get inside the plane, or when even coffee costs extra.
That'll be 50 cents, please.
But when you fly Piedmont, you won't get soaked by the airfare or the rain. No unexpected costs, no surprises.
Please.
Piedmont Airlines, where a bargain is a bargain.
No possession is more precious than life, and no business more rewarding than improving life. At Jefferson Pilot, we've spent over 75 years making lives better, richer, and more secure through our companies in insurance, broadcasting, and publishing. Jefferson Pilot, dedicated to life and the things that make it worth living.
Winning. An uncompromising dedication to excellence, quality, and value. Being the best at whatever you are. Being a winner. Simply because there's nothing else to be. Leggett and Pony keep you in step with the active life. Enduring styles in athletic shoes with enduring quality to match. Mile after mile after mile. Winners, Pony and Leggett.
We are moments away from the opening tip-off, North Carolina against the Duke Blue Devils. We'll be back with all the action for you after this word from Natural Light.
What's more natural than Natural Light?
When the feast runs deep, fresh and flavorful, what's more natural than Natural Light beer? Ah, Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch, the beer with a taste for food. Just naturally right with all those good things from the sea you love to eat. So when you've really put something into a meal,
what's more natural than Natural Light?
At Central Fidelity Bank, we know what you need to build up your business. Money for new construction, money for the fleet you need to keep moving ahead, and for the office equipment that can keep you from falling behind. We've lowered our interest rates on working capital for inventory and receivables. We've lowered our interest rates on business loans because you've been working hard for your business, and so have we.
We work harder for you at Central Fidelity Bank.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium. Jack Corrigan along with Dan Bonner. Here are the starting lineups. First of all, at the forward spots, David Henderson getting the starting nod this afternoon. Jay Billis was hurt in the game against Clemson. He may play on some aspect of this game today, but for the most part, Duke is going to have to go with a three-guard lineup. Dan Mahar will be the natural forward with Mark Alarie in the middle, Johnny Dawkins and Tommy Amaker in the backcourt for Duke. For North Carolina, they will start their three seniors, Matt Doherty and Cecil Exum at the forward spot, Sam Perkins in the middle rather than Brad Doherty as they normally have, with Steve Hale in the point guard spot and Michael Jordan at the shooting guard position. Dan, what will be the aspect that we want to look at this afternoon in terms of the strategy for Mike Krzyzewski having to go most of the game with the three guards since Billis's availability is questionable?
Get a look at Mike Krzyzewski right there. This is really a big game for Duke. The thing with not having Billis available, record against North Carolina, he has one victory over UNC. The thing about not having Billis available is that it reduces the flexibility that Krzyzewski has. He will probably go man-to-man as he usually does, and if anybody gets in foul trouble, the Blue Devils could have a problem because they have not gone that deep to their bench this year. Dean Smith, on the other hand, he now has 12 25-win seasons at North Carolina, past John Wooden in that department. Dean Smith now has more 25-win seasons than anybody else in the history of college basketball.
And we are just set to get this game underway. Duke, not a bad road club, as you see, but they've had a lot of problems at Carolina.
Not very successful at North Carolina.
And there is the record of the North Carolina seniors, the best in ACC history. Sam Perkins has been in the starting lineup for 112 of those 114 victories. Carolina with the opening tap.
Duke starts the game in the man-to-man.
Exum on the bench. Cecil Exum, the rarely used senior, gets the first basket of the afternoon, and that sends this capacity crowd into a mild frenzy.
This is an interesting matchup here. North Carolina is going to do a lot of double teaming and trapping, and Amaker and Dawkins are both very good against that kind of pressure.
David Henderson answers for the Duke Blue Devils. Henderson had a 20-point effort against Carolina in the game at Cameron Indoor. Rebound Jordan. Ball loose on the floor and Duke controls.
Somebody better find Cecil Exum. He had the first basket and was all alone for that shot.
Mahar tried to set the pick to get Dawkins free. Mahar with the ball in the lane. Good dish off to Alarie.
Great movement by the Duke Blue Devils. North Carolina is so effective in that trapping defense, and movement and good passing will beat that usual.
Exum in the corner, now to Perkins as Duke plays that tough man-to-man. Jordan around Henderson. Off the glass, no whistle, and we have got an offensive foul against Michael Jordan.
Good step in by Dan Mahar to draw the foul. Interesting matchup. David Henderson matched up against Michael Jordan. Johnny Dawkins matched up against Matt Doherty. Get a look at the last meeting there. Duke in that game was ahead by 5 with 5 minutes left to go, but Kenny Smith scored 10 points in the final 3 minutes of the game as Carolina pulled it out.
Kenny played 16 minutes against Georgia Tech, so he could see some action this afternoon for the Heels. Dawkins had to adjust his shot, get it over Perkins on the follow.
Boy, Duke looked sharp early. They're moving the ball very well against the Carolina pressure defense.
Steve Hale working against Amaker on the baseline.
Matt Doherty has a significant height advantage against Johnny Dawkins. The Carolina team went right to him on that occasion.
Alarie open on the wing. Rebound, Cecil Exum for the Heels. Steve Hale quickly into the front court for Carolina. Doherty now with a big advantage as they try and work inside to Jordan. Amaker came up with a loose ball, but they say he was on the baseline. Well, they had Matt Doherty at 6'8", paired up against Johnny Dawkins at 6'2" there as you look at Mike Krzyzewski calling out the defense.
Going to get a change in the matchups now as Brad Doherty is going to come in the game. Cecil Exum is going to sit down.
What a thrill for Cecil Exum, the senior who got the starting nod in his final game. He also scores the first basket for Carolina this afternoon. There was a very emotional introduction of the three seniors, and as we mentioned at the top, Cecil broke down and was crying. It shows you how much it has meant to this young man to be a part of the Carolina basketball program. Hale will trigger in the inbound.
Duke in the zone on the out-of-bounds play.
Doherty thought about the shot on the baseline, a little closer. Rebound, Jordan, rejected from behind by Johnny Dawkins. Dawkins is only 6'2", Dan, but he gets off the floor.
Michael Jordan doesn't get too many blocks. Johnny Dawkins, as you say, came from behind, had an excellent angle, was able to slap it away.
Jordan will be the man this time to work the inbound pass.
Johnny Dawkins and Brad Doherty got into it a little bit, and they're still after one another.
The 2-3 zone off the inbound play, as Dan pointed out a moment ago. That's pretty standard for most college clubs. They're a man-to-man team. They'll move into the zone off of an inbound play in the offensive end for the opposition.
Sam Perkins is pretty tough from that spot against the zone, particularly when the guards are as small as Duke's guards are.
Duke with good shooting here in the early going. They've hit 3 of 5. Henderson has one of the baskets, make it 2 for the sophomore from Drury, North Carolina. Again, a 4-point advantage, make it a 2-point advantage, excuse me, for Carolina. They will try and tie it up. Doherty doesn't get the basket, but he got the foul.
It's interesting, Brad Doherty got open down underneath. Mahar was trying to front him, and suddenly Mahar was out of the picture. I don't know whether Mahar tripped or he got helped by Doherty. But Doherty was wide open. David Henderson came over to help out, and that time he got a block.
Matt Doherty at the line to shoot a pair. Make that Brad Doherty, excuse me, on the year a 68% free throw shooter. Didn't get the roll on that one. There you look at the shooting percentages for North Carolina. Outstanding, to say the least. Brad Doherty gets his first point of the afternoon. Duke on top by a point. Quickly a 3-on-2 advantage, but broken up by Matt Doherty.
Tough pass by David Henderson. A bounce pass is usually recommended in that situation, but something that we've seen early. Duke doing an excellent job breaking past the first double team, and when you do that, you're going to create some good situations inside.
Dawkins and Henderson and Amaker, the 3-guard offense out front against the Carolina zone. Power move by Alarie, but it wouldn't drop.
Good power step by Alarie.
Carolina with a chance to take the lead. They led it 2-0. But it has been Duke on top since that point in the opening minutes. 16:20 to go here in the first half. Jordan on the move over Dawkins.
Duke did a very nice job in the man-to-man defense, but Carolina worked at it, was very patient, and Michael Jordan got an excellent shot.
Dawkins trapped in the double team. Good catch by Mahar. Henderson on the baseline. 3 in a row for David Henderson.
David Henderson, Mahar, Alarie are going to be able to get shots like that, and the way Duke plays in the game will depend in great deal on how well they're able to shoot the ball, because Amaker and Dawkins doing a nice job against the press.
Doherty tried to post up, but Jordan was there for the follow.
Mike Krzyzewski's up off the bench claiming that Michael Jordan pushed David Henderson.
Didn't get any sympathy from the men in the stripes.
Usually doesn't.
Henderson makes the move around Doherty and makes it 8 first-half points.
Duke has gotten a lot of easy shots early in the basketball game.
5th lead change, make it 6 as Carolina regains the lead at 13-11 on the first field goal from Brad Doherty.
Carolina hasn't exactly been shooting them from 30 either. That was a real nice play by Brad Doherty to get position inside.
Dawkins all the way to the glass. It'll count, and one more as Sam Perkins is called for the foul.
That's a pretty tough foul on Sam Perkins. He got all tied up with Danny Mahar, and that's why he wasn't able to come over and give help early, and when he got there, he was late and got called for the foul.
Johnny Dawkins with 4 points here on the afternoon. The number 2 scorer in the ACC, a 1/10 of a point as you look at Buzz Peterson, who has checked into the lineup for North Carolina, replacing Michael Jordan. There you see 19.2 for Johnny Dawkins. The leader on the year is Michael Jordan with 19.3. We have got time out on the floor. Duke on top of North Carolina, 15-13. We'll be back with more right after this.
For Sheriff Duval, whose car lacked the pickup to make the pickup, there's Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. For Sister Teresa, who maintained cleanliness is next to godliness, Gulf's car wash keeps her car looking heavenly. Or Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf self-service makes more sense for less sense.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you.
Okay, Dinah, your line is, they took the bone out and left the juiciness in.
You want me to read it like that?
Yeah, because this is where you...
The juiciness in?
Well, see, this is where you discover New Holly Farms boneless thigh fillets.
Oh, I did that. I did them in the wok, and I did them with skewers, shish kebab, and I did them in the microwave with the Parmesan cheese sauce. They're really terrific.
This is where we need the super ending.
My simple pecan pie.
No, America is cooking with Holly...
Allow me. America is cooking with Holly Farms. No bones about it.
I can do this. Let me try. It's easy. No way. Watch. Right in your mouth.
This is a pop-up action meal from Hardee's with all of Biscuit's TV characters.
Let me try. You missed. It's my turn. Can I try? No, too little.
For a special price, you get a regular burger, regular fries, a small soft drink, and a Biscuit's pop-up action meal at Hardee's.
Oh, no.
One each week, 4 in all. The kids will eat 'em up.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium, where Duke leads North Carolina 15-13 with 5 minutes gone in the first half. The announcers for this game are approved and selected by Raycom Sports, Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, duplication, or reception of this telecast without the express written permission of Raycom Sports, Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions is prohibited. We have seen some outstanding shooting here in the opening minutes, Dan Bonner.
Duke 7-10, North Carolina 6 of 12. What we've seen is outstanding offense by both teams. They're reacting well to what their opponent is doing. They're getting good shots, and that's why the percentage is so high.
Duke still in that tough man-to-man. Buzz Peterson is in the ball game now. He is in the backcourt along with Steve Hale. Into Brad Doherty for the short turnaround. We are tied at 15.
Duke is trying so hard to help out inside against the likes of Michael Jordan and Sam Perkins that Brad Doherty is going to be available in there, and he's shown that he can hit that shot.
Dawkins on the move. Henderson is open. Misses his first one of the afternoon. Doherty trying to lead the break. Makes the move around Dawkins. Finds a man open and is down for the slam. And a foul to go with it.
It's going to be another foul against David Henderson. Once again, he's trying to help out in there, but he got his second blocking call of the game.
Well, look at that one again. We're having a little bit of a monitor problem, but Dan, it was a great pass inside to Doherty for the slam.
Brad Doherty showing you his ability to run the basketball court. One of the reasons why North Carolina is so effective is that their big guys do run the court so well. And on the end of that fast break, Brad Doherty doing a nice job getting down and getting inside position.
One shot. Doherty with a chance to put point number 8 up on the board. Carolina with their biggest lead of the afternoon at 3.
Duke's got to be very careful. They got to come down and get a good shot. They certainly don't want North Carolina to get one of their patented runs early in the game.
Alarie working against Brad Doherty. He had 29 against Clemson. Dawkins on the baseline.
Boy, that's a tough move by Johnny Dawkins. He's just so difficult to guard. He's got that great quickness and that ability to stop and go up for that shot.
Michael Jordan from outside. No Perkins with the rebound. Sam shown again why he's the all-time leading rebounder for the Carolina Tar Heels.
Perkins doing a nice job. Alarie didn't get down the court quickly enough. Carolina in that trapping pressure, but Duke gets a break.
What a break indeed as the ball was deflected by Brad Doherty right to Mark Alarie. Again, Duke cuts the margin to 1. 13-15 to go in the first half. Jordan from the baseline again. Michael's a little cold here in the early going. He'll try it again. Deflected by Mahar, but right to Doherty, and we've got a foul.
Coach Mike Krzyzewski is really upset with his team. North Carolina dominating the boards at this point. Todd Anderson in the ball game due to the foul problems that David Henderson encountered. Jay Bill is still on the bench. He's available, but he's not going to play unless he's absolutely needed.
They bring in Anderson because of the size, and now we've got Kenny Smith coming into the ball game. The young freshman who has been battling back from that wrist problem. Played 16 minutes against Georgia Tech. from the Queens in New York City. Brad Doherty has been a regular visitor to the charity stripe here in the early going for Carolina. There's the shooter's touch right there. 9 first quarter, make it first half points for Brad Doherty. 3 of 4 at the line. Try and make it 4 or 5 here. He leads all scorers with 9. And now we've got Joe Wolf coming into the ball game as well. Brad Doherty will get the breather. Carolina again kicks out to a 3-point margin.
Once again, Carolina's showing the full court pressure, and Duke does a nice job getting the ball to Amaker. Against this defense, Amaker and Dawkins have to handle the ball.
Dawkins works around Jordan. Nice move to the hoop. There will be a goaltending call against Sam Perkins.
Sam took it and swatted it back to half court, but Dawkins created the goaltending call by his good penetration to the basket. He rolled it up there, and Perkins was too far under the basket.
Johnny Dawkins now 4 of 5 on the afternoon with 9 points. Doug McNeely has come into the lineup, so Mike Krzyzewski has again gone to a 3-guard offense and defense with Anderson and Alarie now along the baseline.
And he switched his defense. Duke now showing a 3-2 zone. McNeely's going to play the top.
Inside to Wolf, the ball deflected, but it comes back to Joe. Smith will fire from long range. Rebound Dawkins. Duke with a chance to regain the lead. Nice. Inside to Alarie, and Mark just couldn't get a handle on it. But they say it went off of Joe Wolf after it went through Alarie. The 9,000 plus referees in the stands disagree.
North Carolina play the 1-3-1 zone against the out-of-bounds play.
Duke with a chance to regain the lead. Dawkins in trouble, got it on the baseline to McNeely. He's double-teamed. Down low to Anderson. Not a real good pass, but Alarie somehow came up with it and put it in.
Dean Smith's up off the bench. He wanted a walk called against somebody, but Alarie did a nice job. He didn't go down on the floor after the ball, and the fact that he kept his feet enabled him to get it when it squirted out.
Tried to run the alley-oop to Jordan. They'll call the foul before the basket. Todd Anderson called for the foul. Michael Jordan will, I don't believe, get the 2-shot wait and see.
Jordan didn't quite get the pass where he wanted it. He wasn't close enough to really throw it down, and Anderson committed the foul as Jordan came down with the basketball.
There's 11:49 remaining here in the first half with a timeout on the floor. The score, Duke 23, North Carolina 22. We'll be right back.
Walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can do the snowman. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire.
Let Piedmont Airlines change all your ideas about winter. Fly with us to Florida.
Walking in a winter wonderland. Get a lot of value at your local Mazda dealers now.
You can't buy this Mazda RX-7, the car that earned 4 straight IMSA racing championships. And you can't buy this Mazda RX-7 Pro Rally car either. But you can experience exhilarating performance and value in this Mazda RX-7 for $10,195. Mazda RX-7, America's best-selling 2-seat sports car. Get a lot of value at your local Mazda dealers today.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium. Jack Corrigan along with Dan Bonnard. A 23-22 count. Duke on top. And I guess the biggest difference has been in the field goal percentages. Carolina getting more opportunities, Dan, but Duke taking a better advantage of the opportunities they have had.
The key to the game so far has been the fact that North Carolina, as they usually do, has been attacking Duke with some full court pressure, with some traps. Duke, however, has reacted very well to it. They've gotten by the initial line of the defense, so they've gotten very easy shots inside. Duke in field goal shooting is 11 of 14, and that's the key stat in the game.
Michael Jordan just 2 for 8 here in the early going. An un-Jordan-like performance for the junior.
Duke being very active in the 2-3 zone.
That's Kenny Smith wearing a leather-like brace on that injured left wrist.
Really cuts down on the mobility of his left thumb, we found out earlier.
Good pass inside to Perkins.
Duke does not play a great deal of zone, and sometimes when you don't play a lot of zone, it's difficult to guard all the mismatches that you have in a zone. That time, Hale found Perkins.
We've had 8 lead changes here in the first 9 minutes of action.
North Carolina showing a little bit more straight up man-to-man.
Amaker working against Kenny Smith, a couple of very fine-looking freshman guards. Good hustle that time by Steve Hale as he almost came up with the interception.
Great job by Kenny Smith. You could see as the ball went inside first to Mahar and then to Alarie, Smith left Amaker, went down and double team, forced the pass back outside.
Good look by Mahar inside to Alarie.
A very well-prepared Duke team there, attacking North Carolina with almost surgical precision. Mahar waited for the double team, and when it was almost there, he threw the ball all the way across the court. Just an excellent play.
David Henderson will come back in for Duke in the next opportunity. Steve Hale, who has picked up 3 assists already, now to Kenny Smith.
Duke in that 3-2 zone that they've shown on plays other than the out-of-bounds plays.
Michael Jordan on the move. Boy, good aggressive defense by Duke. Doherty inside, and a shot affected by Alarie, and Duke gets it away.
Alarie, for his size, does a great job blocking shots.
Boy, another great move by Alarie to not only get the catch, the basket, but also to draw the foul on Steve Hale.
We talked about the ability of the North Carolina big guys to run the floor. The Duke big guys run the floor very well. Mark Alarie behind the pack. Steve Hale just really with nothing to do. I think he was trying to get out of the way and committed the foul. Nice job by the Duke Blue Devils. Johnny Dawkins pushing it up, and Alarie doing a great job getting down the floor.
Mark 5 of 7 in the ball game, coming off a career best 29 points and 16 rebounds against Clemson on Wednesday.
Alarie has really come along as a player in the ACC. He's improved greatly as the year has gone on this year as he did last year. He's going to be one of the real fine performers in the league before he's through.
Duke for the second time has a 4-point lead. Perkins missed connections on the alley-oop.
Sam actually got his hand caught on the rim.
Henderson on the baseline. Good defense by Carolina as Steve Hale this time has the position.
And that's David Henderson's 3rd foul. Mike Krzyzewski taking a bit of a chance putting him back in the game. The gamble doesn't pay off. Henderson going to penetrate to the baseline. Now, Hale doesn't need to be stopped. He just needs to have his position established, and he did. He was occupying that area before Henderson got there, and that's why the charge was called. Pretty good call.
And Jay Billis is in the ball game. Billis, who injured his shoulder in the closing moments of the Clemson game, seeing his first action of the afternoon for Duke.
Now, this is interesting. Mark Alarie comes out and is going to play the point on that 3-2 or 1-2-2 defense with Billis and Mahar playing inside.
Steve Hale left hands it up and in for his first field goal of the afternoon. The sophomore from Jenks, Oklahoma, brings Carolina within a basket.
Carolina, here they come with the traps again. Great job by Dawkins. Didn't pick up the dribble.
Inside to Billis. He'll go to the baseline for Alarie. Rebound comes loose to Jordan. They try and run a break. What a soft baby hook by Sam Perkins.
Duke playing the 3-2 zone sort of very wide. Sam Perkins has been able to get open in the middle a couple of times.
Our 4th tie of the afternoon. Amaker, good look inside to Billis. No problem with the shoulder there when you're slamming it home.
What a pass. The Duke guards just doing a tremendous job finding the open man. And against North Carolina with all the different defenses and the pressure that they give you, that's not an easy task.
Jordan is thinking twice about the shot from outside, partly because Alarie's there and also that he is 2 of 8 right now. Doherty will take it over Alarie.
One problem that you create with having Alarie out there is he's not available for help on the defensive boards, and North Carolina has really been doing a nice job on their offensive board.
The way both clubs are shooting, though, Dan, there hadn't been too many defensive boards to be had. Interception by Steve Hale. And taken back by Amaker. What a defensive play for Duke. Dawkins. Offensive foul. The shot was rejected anyway by Matt Doherty. But Steve Hale did the job to draw the offensive foul.
Gotta look at a heck of a defensive series. Hale is trying to get in front of Dawkins. He does. Nice job. Hale gets set. Doherty comes over and blocks the shot. Nice job by Steve Hale.
We are tied at 30 with 7:58 remaining here in the first half at Carmichael. A good ball game. Stay tuned for more.
At Central Fidelity Bank, we know you're ready to get moving again. In a new car, in a used car that's new to you, or in a truck you just can't wait to show off. At Central Fidelity, we can give you a head start with lower interest rates on car and boat loans. You've been working hard to get where you want to go, and we're working harder for you with lower interest on loans.
Work harder for you at Central Fidelity Bank.
The Atlantic Coast Conference has become known as the Conference of Champions throughout the United States. Champions because the coaches and players in the ACC have set a standard of excellence in collegiate sports. At Food Lion, we like to think we set a standard of excellence in the supermarket business with our quality products, with our 6,800 low prices, and with the people who serve you. Why not visit one of the hundreds of Food Lion stores soon and meet some of our champions?
This exclusive ACC coverage is a presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.
There you look at some of the fans here at capacity crowd, Carmichael Auditorium, just about every time a full house at Carmichael. They've been seeing a great game. 30-30 with 7:50 to go here in the first half.
Now Duke goes back to the defense that they handle best, man-to-man. Dan Mahar a little over-aggressive, and that's really a tough foul for Mahar in that situation. He tends to be foul-prone, but in this game particularly, with Henderson in foul trouble, Billis a little bit hurt. If Mahar's going to foul, it's got to be down inside.
Michael Jordan was out momentarily. He comes back into the lineup. That foul on Mahar puts North Carolina into the bonus. As you look at Kenny Smith, there's a close-up of that apparatus he is wearing on his left wrist. It's a derivation of that support that pro bowlers wear. Hale misses the one-and-one opportunity, but the rebound volleyball all the way out to Jordan.
Good tap out by Brad Doherty inside. North Carolina continues to do well on the offensive boards.
Boy, that Amaker is an aggressive player. He's given Steve Hale his money's worth out front.
Duke plays an aggressive physical man-to-man, and they're in it right now.
On the baseline, Hale.
Nice job by Steve Hale.
Carolina regains the lead at 32-30 with 7:10 to go in the first half.
Now North Carolina drops back into the 2-3 zone, or the 1-3-1 zone, I guess. We're going to have Hobson inside running the baseline, and Hale is going to be out pointing the ball.
There you see the game clock in the lower right portion of your screen as Steve Hale comes down with the Duke miss. Carolina with a chance to bump out to their biggest lead of the afternoon. Doherty against Mahar, gets it off to Jordan finally.
Jordan and Dawkins, that's a pretty good matchup.
There's Jordan on the baseline. He got in trouble inside and threw it away.
Good defensive help by Duke. Michael Jordan got around Dawkins on the baseline. Sam Perkins comes back in the game, but Alarie came over and gave good help. Jordan jumped off his feet, really had nothing to do with the ball.
6:38 remaining in the first half. David Henderson comes back in surprisingly for Mike Krzyzewski with the 3 personal fouls. A little bit of a gamble there for Coach K. Carolina remains in their zone defense. Henderson, of course, hit his first 4 field goal attempts. That's part of the reason he's in the lineup. Dawkins is cut off. He goes out to Amaker. Henderson with the rebound over Doherty. Yes.
What penetration by Johnny Dawkins. Amaker missed that jump shot, but the penetration by Dawkins drew the defense all to that area. So when Amaker missed the shot, there was nobody available to block out Henderson.
We are tied at 32. Brad Doherty in trouble. Boy, just beat the 5-second call.
Mahar was what you call in Brad Doherty's face. He was right up against him.
Michael Jordan against Johnny Dawkins. 15 on the shot clock. Matt Doherty in trouble on the baseline. Boy, good defense by Duke here, but Doherty gets around Mahar for the easy 10-footer, left it a little shy. Inside, we have got a foul on Brad Doherty.
Brad Doherty, Michael Jordan both going to the boards very hard. David Henderson that time had good position inside. Matt Doherty was matched up against Mahar outside, and that's a mismatch, and Doherty took advantage of it and penetrated around. Michael Jordan, you can see there with the tip, that body that went flying out of the screen was David Henderson, and that was the foul call.
Should apologize to all Matt Doherty fans. No shot in basketball is easy, but when you get these guys so proficient at the game, they get that 10-footer, you expect them to make it just about every time. Like Matt pulled the string a little bit there, Dan.
Duke came and gave good defensive help, made him change the shot.
Hammaker, the pass inside to Dawkins. He gets it inside to Doug McNeely.
Dawkins, what a great pass by Dawkins.
Jordan the other way. That's a foul. Johnny Dawkins was a little late getting there, and Michael Jordan took advantage of it to drop his third field goal through the net this afternoon and a chance for a three-point play.
Jordan getting up and down the court. Dawkins coming over. You can see he gets him just on the wrist. That's not much of a foul, but it's Johnny Dawkins' second foul, and the Duke Blue Devils really are having some foul problems.
It's the kind of foul that coaches hate as you look at Michael Jordan. He leads the ACC in scoring by 1/10 of a point over Dawkins. Michael now with 7 points on the afternoon. Carolina regains the lead at 35-34. Dawkins is rejected, but somehow came up with the ball. What a catch, but not quite in by Alarie.
Duke did a great job getting up the court. Brad Doherty blocked Dawkins' shot, but there were no North Carolina players back to help him out with the rebound.
Brad Doherty inside to Perkins, and he is fouled by Doug McNeely. Duke has had a tendency much of the year to commit a large number of fouls. That was part of their problem against Clemson Wednesday night.
They play that aggressive man-to-man defense. They try to help one another out.
There's a little bit of the basketball resume of Sam Perkins. Look at some of those numbers. 58% from the field, 80% from the foul line. Of course, the all-time rebounder in Carolina basketball, and the #2 scorer.
Now you think for a minute about all the people who have ever played Division I college basketball. This guy right here is only the 40th person to ever play Division I college basketball to reach the 2,000 rebound or 2,000 point, 1,000 rebound plateau.
A little extra spin, but the ball drops through, and Sam Perkins into double figures with 10 points on the afternoon. Perkins almost with an acrobatic steal. It is saved by Jordan, but to Duke.
I can't believe Jordan got to that ball, much less got it back in bounds. Carolina didn't get it. Boy, that's some hustle by Jordan and Perkins.
Hammaker misfires, and Brad Doherty with the rebound. Too far for Michael Jordan.
Both teams in a little too much of a hurry on that particular sequence. Hammaker with a tough shot. He got Jordan off his feet, but he was still off balance when he took the shot, and then as the pass went down to Jordan, it was over the wrong shoulder. Jordan couldn't catch up.
Carolina on top by 3. They've led by 3 on 3 occasions now in the first half. Dawkins inside, rejected by Perkins.
Perkins almost knocked it through the backboard.
Perkins will fire from long range. Rebound, Alarie. McNeely will bring it into the front court. Good post move by Mahar. Left it short. He was influenced by Brad Doherty, and Perkins with the rebound. Mahar a little tired. Didn't get up off the floor as well as he can normally.
Duke's done a lot of running up and down, and they haven't scored, and that's really tiring.
Doherty from the corner. We're going to get a shove on Brad Doherty as he picks up his second personal. Boy, it has been furious action from end to end. As you look at Dean Smith, he'll get an opportunity to talk to his troops because there's time out on the floor. Duke trailing Carolina 37-34.
Boxing, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, watch them all. With Rose in hand, you'll have a ball. 'Cause there's no taste like the Rose. Irish Rose, no taste like the Rose. There's no taste like it, everybody knows. There's no taste like the Rose.
Wild Irish Rose wine.
Today, the most exciting new ideas in the hotel business come from Holiday Inn.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
It works much better.
It tastes much better.
Better and better.
Really better.
Holodex 2, the industry's first bimodal reservation system, ensures your room is waiting. Innovations like this make Holiday Inn hotels #1.
We're #1, your worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium. Jack Corrigan along with Dan Bonner, and in our halftime segment this afternoon, we're going to look at some of the other scores from other games in college basketball. We also want you to stay tuned for a conversation with some of the ACC women basketball coaches. Of course, the ACC tournament for the women taking place this weekend down in Fayetteville. And we have a pretty interesting report for you on women's basketball in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I think you can safely say ACC women's basketball in terms of the rest of the country is much like the men. One of the best conferences in the country. You got to look at Dean Smith directing traffic as Duke tries to cut the Carolina advantage. Dawkins might have gotten away with a carry. Mahar made a good pass to McNeely, but good defense by Kenny Smith.
North Carolina does such a great job changing defenses and disguising defenses. We've seen him play straight up man-to-man. We've seen him as Michael Jordan comes back in the game. We've seen him try to trap man-to-man full court. We've seen him play a couple of different kinds of zones. Duke, to this point, has done an excellent job recognizing
the double team. Duke is able to beat it. Dawkins misses. Boy, did McNeely get up in the air for the rebound. Double pumps, no. McNeely tries to keep it alive. Finally, Sam Perkins.
Perkins couldn't grab the ball, so he kept bouncing it off the board till he got himself in position to grab it. What a great play.
Jordan on the reverse, no. Rebound, Mahar. Duke has done a good job of thwarting the baseline moves of Jordan as Dawkins missed, but Alarie was right there.
Dawkins went in for the scoop shot, and Joe Wolf actually got a hold of the ball, banged it up off the board hard, but Alarie was in good position for the rebound.
Mark Alarie with 13 points to lead all scorers. Keep in mind he's coming off a great game on Wednesday. Jordan again misfires on the baseline.
Duke that time went back to that 3-2 zone.
Long lob to Alarie. Might have got away with a walk. The official on the baseline said he had that foot planted.
Carolina in the man-to-man.
Amaker, the reach-around foul on Kenny Smith. Michael Jordan is just 3 for 11 as you look at Kenny Smith picking up his first personal foul of the afternoon. One thing about Michael Jordan, I guess it's true of any great player, Dan Bonner, is that he knows the shots are going to fall, so he's not going to adjust his game too much. He's going to be putting the shots up.
Well, he certainly got to. Sam Perkins going out getting a break. Michael Jordan has had some good shots. That last one was an example. He just misfired.
Duke again with their 3-guard offense. McNeely, one of the guards in the corner. Alarie, the turnaround will not count. They say Joe Wolf with the shove on the catch of the pass to Alarie.
Hank Nichols calling a very aggressive game today. He really went over and reported that one quite strongly to the scorers table.
That puts Duke into the bonus situation, so we'll get Mark Alarie at the line for a 1-and-1. Matt Doherty comes into the lineup for North Carolina. Matt closing out his Carolina career. Mark Alarie, 13 points. You see those numbers there. Top 10 in 3 different categories. I'm sure rebounding would be a 4th for Mark.
It's amazing how many shots he blocks at his size. He's only 6'8", but he really does a nice job as a shot blocker for the Duke Blue Devils.
Over 7 rebounds a contest and the 17 points a game. He is well along towards surpassing that as Duke has regained the lead at 38-37. Alarie already with 15 first-half points as we near the 2-minute mark of the first half.
Duke, as we mentioned, back in that 3-2 zone, they've had some trouble cutting off the middle and rebounding out of this defense.
The back door to Wolf, he left it short, the follow, no, rebound, comes down to Alarie. Dawkins against Jordan, what a matchup. Alarie on the baseline. He's a little tired and made a dumb foul. Boy, how many times do you see that?
I think Alarie was discussing with himself. He did an excellent job getting position inside. It was a textbook move getting Joe Wolf on his back, catches the ball just a little bit short on that jump shot. Wolf doing a nice job blocking the man out. You're always supposed to block out the shooter, and Wolf certainly did. Alarie came over his back.
Joe Wolf, the good-looking freshman For Carolina, he has seen increasing playing time as the season has progressed. He is from Kohler, Wisconsin. Too strong with the free throw. Dawkins away with the board.
Boy, Dawkins can really handle the basketball.
McNeely on the baseline, in and out to Perkins. Now Michael Jordan trying to deal on Amaker. Puts it over McNeely short. Rebound swatted out to Amaker.
Michael Jordan, the shot was close, but it wasn't easy. He was moving. Amaker was right in his face, and he left it short.
1:12 to go in the first half. Duke on top by a point. Amaker cut off by Smith. Mahar down low to McNeely. He is in big trouble. He might have got away with an extra step.
Either Sam Perkins might have gotten away with a foul too, so ends up even.
18 on the shot clock for Duke. We're down to 52 seconds in the first half. Now 10 on the clock as Billis is hounded by Wolf. Mahar, the 5-footer. Tipped by McNeely, no. Rebound and a foul. They called a foul on Doug McNeely, I believe, yes.
John Clockery went to call the foul, and as he started to blow the whistle popped out of his mouth, and he couldn't get anybody to stop. And as he reached down trying to find it, he couldn't get it.
Mahara's ball rattles around the rim here. McNeely can get off the floor.
Look at McNeely get up. McNeely mistimed his jump a little bit. You saw him foul Perkins right across the arm. That's where the foul is called. Sam's turning around looking for the whistle. So was John Clockery, but he couldn't find it.
Sam Perkins goes back to the line. 10 first half points for Sam in his final appearance at Carmichael Auditorium. He misses the free throw, but Joe Wolf kept it alive.
Well, how did Wolf get that? I thought Billis had pretty good position inside, but Wolf slid away nicely.
Uncharacteristically, Carolina has missed their last 3 free throw attempts. Into Perkins, and they're going to call a foul on Tommy Amaker.
McNeely thought he got his hand on the ball. When the whistle first blew, I think Doug McNeely thought the foul was on him, and he started to complain. But Amaker also got Perkins, and he got him across the arm.
There's Mike Krzyzewski working the officials in the game.
He doesn't look happy. I don't think he was asking the official how he felt.
Duke is looking for their 23rd victory of the season as Michael Jordan will sit down with 23 ticks remaining to the clock in the first half. Perkins back to the line again for a 1-and-1. Sam 2 of 3 at the line.
Carolina, being the second leading free throw shooting team in the country, has struggled for them a little bit at the free throw line. Perkins makes that one to tie the game.
They are nearly an 80% free throw shooting team, which that's an incredible statistic. Of course, when you've got this guy shooting at nearly 86% from the line. Carolina is 8 of 12 at the charity stripe, make it 9 of 13. As the Heels regain the lead with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Alarie, no, but he'll get a blocking foul against Joe Wolf. Make that Jay Billis.
Jay Billis was inside for the shot. Wolf did a nice job preventing the layup, but he did draw the foul. Once again, against the full court pressure, Duke did a great job getting the ball to Dawkins and allowing him to penetrate. Billis steps in, gets the foul against Wolf. Wolf got hit in the back by Sam Perkins, so he got hit both ways.
Jay Billis, a 62% free throw shooter. Connects. Carolina has seen Duke convert all 5 of their free throw attempts here in the first half.
And Hank Nichols having a couple of words with Joe Wolf and Dan Mahar, going after one another inside.
Billis with the roll around and in has 4, and Duke regains the lead at 40-39 with 15 to go in the first half.
Duke very aggressive in that 3-2 zone.
Doherty looking inside for Perkins. Now the lob to Wolf, who is all alone in front of Mahar. Amaker will fire at the buzzer. He caught iron.
And Dean Smith wants a foul.
What a first half of basketball here at Carmichael Auditorium as the top-ranked Carolina Tar Heels lead one of their arch rivals, the Duke Blue Devils, 41-40. And Dan, I would say a little bit of a surprise in the high numbers in the first half. I knew we'd have a good game this afternoon. I didn't think it would be this high scoring.
North Carolina likes to get into the high-scoring game, and usually their pressure defense forces a high-scoring game. Duke also likes the transition game, and the key with North Carolina, I don't think, is necessary to play them a slow game, but to make sure that they're working for their points and you're getting some easy opportunities, and Duke certainly has done that today. Dawkins, Amaker doing a nice job getting the ball down the court, beating the pressure, getting it inside.
North Carolina leading by a point over Duke despite a 3-for-12 performance from Michael Jordan. We'll be back with more halftime after this word from Natural Light.
If you like Carolina.
What's more natural than natural light?
When the sun goes down and the fiesta begins, what's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch? The beer with a taste for food that just naturally leaves you room for more. So when you want to go for the whole enchilada,
What's more natural than natural light?
Okay, Dinah, your line is, they took the bone out and left the juiciness in.
You want me to read it like that?
Yeah, because this is where you...
The juiciness in?
Well, see, this is where you discover New Holly Farms boneless thigh fillets.
Oh, I did that. I did them in the wok, and I did them with the skewers, a shish kebab, and I did them in the microwave with the Parmesan cheese sauce. They're really terrific.
This is where we need the super ending.
My simple pecan pie.
No, America is cooking with Holly...
Allow me. America is cooking with Holly Farms. No bones about it.
Most adults damage their health daily. Not exercising enough, smoking, overeating, or drinking too much. Digging a hole, getting deeper and deeper into trouble. At Pilot Life, we're educating people to stay healthy through our health education and lifestyle planning program that can actually help you improve your health, because life is too precious to spend digging your own grave. Pilot Life, we never forget that behind every policy is a person.
Winning. An uncompromising dedication to excellence, quality, and value. Being the best at whatever you are. Being a winner. Simply because there's nothing else to be. Leggett has a proven winner in Arrow shirts. The time-tested quality of single-needle tailoring, coupled with smart traditional styling, and an attractive chest embroidery that scores. Winners, Arrow and Leggett.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium. Jack Corrigan along with Dan Bonner. A wild and woolly first 20 minutes of basketball with North Carolina leading the Duke Blue Devils 41-40. 17 lead changes and 9 ties in the first 20 minutes of basketball. Gives you an idea of how closely contested this game has been. Let's look at some of the other college basketball scores around the country. In addition to this game here this afternoon, the game that preceded us in this ACC doubleheader, Wake Forest with an 84-75 victory over North Carolina State. Dan and I in a few minutes will talk about the implications of that Wake Forest victory in terms of the seedings in the ACC tournament next week. Georgetown just about wraps up the Big East with that victory over Syracuse, the regular season crown anyway, with the easy victory over the Orangemen in Washington. Clemson a 10-point winner over Campbell this afternoon as they wind up their regular season. OT, Lou Carnesecca and Raleigh Massimino, a couple of coaches who really get at it, as St. John's and Villanova are deadlocked at the end of regulation. Louisville leading Memphis State in the battle for the top spot in the Metro Conference. A minute left in that ball game. Auburn and Alabama, a couple of the powers in the Southeastern Conference. Auburn on top by 12 at the intermission.
Ladies and gentlemen, today.
And UNLV in Oklahoma. Boy, I'd like to see that basketball game. Wayman Tisdale and the Oklahoma Sooners against the running Rebels of Nevada, Las Vegas. That in the first half with UNLV in top or trailing Oklahoma. Next Friday, the ACC tournament will get itself underway, and we promise to be right on top of all the action for you. The opening game will be at noon next Friday as North Carolina, the top seed in the tournament, will be taking on Clemson. The rest of the games, with the exception of that 7 o'clock game, we have no idea who are going to be playing yet. The number 4 seed and the number 5 seed will be playing at 2 o'clock. At 7 o'clock Friday evening, it will be the number 2 seed, and that could be any of a couple of teams going against NC State, as you see right there. and then the number 3 seed against the number 6 seed in the finale of the 4-game set on Friday. Who knows what is going to happen? We will then be back with the semifinals on Saturday. We'll kick things off at the ACC Sports Center at 1 o'clock. Then at 1:30, the first of the 2 semifinal games with the 3:30 nightcap, and finish it all up with the championship game Sunday afternoon beginning at 1 o'clock. We will be back to talk a little bit more about the ACC tournament, both for the men and the women. 41-40, Carolina on top. We'll be right back.
Let's settle in here, all right? I'm guessing that they're hiding right out in this grass. Watch me, partner. It's all in the wrist. Oh, I got bit. Big. Game on in. Let's get a look at that hog. Oh, nice meeting you, big guy.
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction.
This amazing innovation from Subaru overcomes 2 problems: bad weather and the hassle of shifting gears. It combines the extra measure of safety and traction of on-demand 4-wheel drive with the ease of an automatic transmission. Now there's 4-wheel drive anybody can drive.
See the yellow pages for your local area Subaru dealer.
I can do this. Let me try. It's easy. No way. Watch. Right in your mouth.
This is a pop-up action meal from Hardee's with all of Biscuit's TV characters.
Let me try. Oh, you missed. My turn. Can I try? No, you're too little.
For a special price, you get a regular burger, regular fries, a small soft drink, and a Biscuit's pop-up action meal at Hardee's.
Oh, no.
1 each week, 4 in all. The kids will eat them up.
At Central Fidelity Bank, we know there's no place like your home, especially when you found a way to make it bigger and better. And there's other building to be done, like a college education. That's why Central Fidelity's home improvement, personal, and home equity loans have lower interest rates. You've been working hard for the way you want to live, and we're working harder for you with lower interest on loans.
Work harder for you at Central Fidelity Bank.
The 1984 ACC Basketball Tournament.
Don't try stop it, don't try stop it. Don't try stop it, don't try stop it.
We'll bring you all the action with Mike Patrick and Dan Bonner, Fred White and Jeff Mullins. As always, we'll have the inside of Billy Packer. Paul Cameron from the ACC Sports Center, and Jack Corrigan will handle pregame and halftime activities. We'll give you the official word, the short stories, and the inside stuff.
Don't try stop it, don't try stop it.
The 1984 ACC Basketball Tournament, beginning Friday, 12 noon.
Carolina leading Duke 41-40 here at halftime. Stay tuned as halftime continues after we pause for this word from your local ACC stations. At the conclusion of this game, we'll be selecting an outstanding player from each team as the Holly Farms Player of the Game. Holly Farms will contribute $1,000 to the Atlantic Coast Conference to be distributed to the institutions under a conference-approved plan in the name of these two players. At the end of the season, each player winning the Player of the Game award will receive a plaque from Holly Farms recognizing this honor. The ACC women's basketball tournament is going on right now down in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Here's the results from last night's first-round action. North Carolina had to squeeze by Clemson by a 1-point margin. Virginia, an easy winner over Georgia Tech. NC State by 13 over the Duke Blue Devils. And Maryland, an easy victor over Wake Forest. You know, a few years ago, you might not have heard of a women's basketball coach getting fired for not winning enough games. That has changed, however. The pressures are on for the men as well as for the women. Here's Brenda Hughes of the ACC Sports Center.
Here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, the 7th annual women's ACC tournament is obviously in full swing. But you know, compared to the men, the women are relative newcomers to this type of thing. But that doesn't mean that growth isn't occurring and change is in the air. But even so, a few problems are beginning to surface, many of which are similar to those experienced by their male counterparts.
There's more visibility for the program. I think there are more people interested in it and wanting to know about it. So you just run into more people after you lose a game.
I think a lot of the men like to use this against us. They'll say, you don't have to win, you know, in order to keep your job. But I think we do. I don't think that a coach that continues to have a losing season year after year would be able to keep a job.
I can remember our very first game with NC State. I think it was my second year of coaching. And we were down there and they had a pep band and about 4,000 people. And it was the first time that my team or myself had ever been involved in that kind of situation. And I remember while the Star Spangled Banner was playing, I thought to myself, what on earth am I doing here? You know, and then I thought, I'll never criticize Dr. Drizelli again.
Pressure. ACC women's coaches are becoming more and more familiar with it. It's one of the many changes that's occurring pretty quickly in the women's game, especially when you keep in mind that most colleges didn't even field a team until the early to mid-1970s. Players are taller, staffs are larger, and competition is keener, both on the floor and off. And suddenly that word recruiting is taking on more and more importance, and the ladies are even beginning to experience recruiting battles.
We got into one last year, I know, with one of the top players in the nation. We didn't win it, but it was quite a battle.
Some teams have uniforms made up for the student with their number, saying, well, you know, if you come here now, we've already got your uniform ready.
Anything that would be legal, that would be a gimmick, I think will be tried. And you know, I would hate to say, but I think in some cases with pressure on particular schools to recruit particular players, we could reach the place of a few perhaps illegal things going on.
Will recruiting for the Blue Chippers reach the same level of intensity we associate with men's ball? Obviously, only time and probably more visibility will tell. For the most part, though, women's basketball is moving in a very positive direction. In a relatively short amount of time, it's come a long, long way.
And here are the pairings for tonight's semifinal games. Top-seeded Virginia will take on North Carolina in the opener, and it'll be Maryland against NC State in the nightcap. Stay tuned for second half action after this word from Natural Light.
What's more natural than spicy hot food and icy cold beer? What's more natural than Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch? It's the beer with a taste for food. So, when you want to put out the fire,
What's more natural than Natural Light?
Piedmont Airlines Take the Family fares are back, and all you have to do is buy a full-fare adult ticket. When you do, your spouse can go along for as little as $49 each way, and so can your kids ages 2 through 17. Just $49 each to most Piedmont cities, $69 to Florida or Texas, $79 to Colorado. There are almost no restrictions, but you must complete your travel by March 31st, 1984. So call today and let Piedmont save your family some seats.
For
For Sheriff Duval, whose car lacked the pickup to make the pickup, there's Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. For absent-minded Professor Doyle, who never remembered to check her oil, Gulf's full-service dealers check it for her. For Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf Self-Service makes more sense for less sense.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you.
This live coverage is brought to you by Piedmont Airlines, by Budweiser, by the Jefferson Pilot Corporation, by Subaru, by Food Lion, by Belk and Leggett Stores, and by Central Fidelity Bank. This exclusive ACC coverage is a presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.
And here are the Hardy's halftime stats as we are just about set to get underway with the second half. Good shooting by both clubs. Obviously, Dan, the surprise has been the poor shooting by Michael Jordan and also by Johnny Dawkins.
Dawkins has done a nice job, though. He hasn't shot the ball well. He's only 4 of 10, but Duke has only 3 turnovers against the North Carolina pressure. North Carolina, the amazing stat, as quickly paced a game as this has been, only has 4.
And right on the inbound play, we get a turnover and a foul on Dan Mahar.
North Carolina doing a nice job preventing Duke from getting the ball inbounds, and what a way to start the second half, huh?
There were 44 turnovers, Dan, in the first meeting between these two teams, so both clubs doing a much better job of protecting the ball.
I have to watch Michael Jordan and see how he plays in the second half. I think for the first time all year, I've seen him play a game where he was really out of control at a lot of stages in the first half.
Sam Perkins outside. Perkins the leading scorer for Carolina in the first half with 12. Brad Doherty hits his 12th point of the afternoon, and Carolina is out to a 3-point advantage.
Nice job by North Carolina. Good patience against the Duke man-to-man.
Boy, they beat the double team to Billis.
How did Amaker make that pass? He was double teamed out at midcourt and threw a hook pass over top of Sam Perkins down inside to Billis. Amaker has done a great job.
Steve Hale got away from Tommy Amaker and got the ball to bounce around and fall through.
Amaker turned his head. He was watching the basketball, lost sight of Steve Hale. Hale recognizing, going right to the basket.
6 points for Steve Hale in the ball game. A 3-point Carolina lead. Dawkins might have got away with a walk. Banks it in off the glass.
A lot of bodies inside. I think Sam Perkins is wondering what's going on.
11 points for Johnny Dawkins.
Looks like North Carolina is going to try, at least to start the second half, that trapping of pressure at half court out of the man-to-man defense.
Hale inside to Perkins. Good ball movement by Carolina. Perkins with the follow.
Nobody blocked out Michael Jordan. Have to see who they give that basket to, because both Jordan and Perkins were there.
Sam Perkins will get credit for the basket. He's got 14 on the afternoon. Good give and go. Oh my, some great passing. Jordan with the foul.
Good ball movement by the Duke Blue Devils. That young man right there is not very happy with the call. Once again, Johnny Dawkins keeping his dribble as that double team comes to Alarie. Geez, what nice ball movement inside. Jordan, well, he may have a point there.
Michael picks up his second personal foul. Jay Billis will go to the line. There you look at Dean Smith.
It's just real hard, Jack, to block a shot without the referee calling the foul. About 8 times out of 10, probably, the official is going to call a foul on that play because it looks like a foul.
Billis misses the second one. That is the first miss in a free throw situation for Duke. Carolina leads by a pair. We are in the first minute of the second half.
Nice job by Steve Hale, really pushing the ball up the court.
Perkins on right wing.
Mismatch now. Sam Perkins matched up against Tommy Amaker.
Jordan open for his first and second half shots up to the net.
Good on-balance jumper by Michael Jordan. He really needs to get going for North Carolina in the second half. Very under control so far.
That 4-point advantage is the biggest lead of the ball game for Carolina. Dawkins just too quick for Steve Hale.
What a move by Dawkins. Got by Hale and then glided right past Matt Doherty to avoid the charge.
Jordan down low to Brad Doherty. The give and go to Jordan. Got control? No. They say player control foul. Michael Jordan.
Jordan made the right move. That's now 3 fouls on Jordan. He passed the ball inside, and rather than stand outside, cut to the basket. Tough pass by Brad Doherty, though. Jordan really wasn't open. It's a tough opportunity for Jordan, and he committed the foul.
Dawkins into the front court. Duke looking to gain a tie. And a foul called against Johnny Dawkins as Steve Hale was sent skittering along the floor. Third personal on Johnny Dawkins. And now it is Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski's turn to be upset.
Even though the score is very high, we've had a lot of points scored in the game. I think that's a credit to the offensive ability of these teams because there's some pretty good defense.
Doherty inside, had his shot affected once, ball still loose, and finally Tommy Amaker gets it, ran into Dawkins but maintained control of the ball. Dawkins working against Jordan, and now he'll back off.
Bad pass.
And Sam Perkins with the steal. Too far for Steve Hale, however. Steve goes up about 6 rows, visits with his mother and a few other fans to come back out and play.
Had a couple of points in the game where it has looked a little sloppy, but then the teams recover and get back after one another. That was a little bit sloppy. Amaker and Dawkins were lucky to come up with the ball and bring it up the court, but then Sam Perkins overthrew an open teammate in Steve Hale.
16:40 to go in the game. Duke looking for the tie. They get it with Alarie.
It's the first time Alarie's handled the ball in the second half.
That is our 10th tie of the ball game. Jordan has to adjust his shot, but gets the perfect pass to Doherty.
What a catch by Matt Doherty. Now, not only did he catch it, but he was able to get underneath the basket and lay it in.
Carolina again by 2. This time, Steve Hale did not beat Johnny Dawkins to the penetration point, and he is called for the foul.
Those two are really having a battle. Dawkins using great quickness, Hale trying to use floor position. Hale has to have his feet planted and be facing the dribbler. He was not facing the dribbler when the contact occurred. His side was actually toward Dawkins.
We have now been officially informed that basket, that tip-in that we had credited to Sam Perkins did go to Michael Jordan. So Michael with 11 in the game, Perkins with 12.
Carolina in the zone after the inbounds play underneath.
Dawkins from 18, bingo. Johnny Dawkins with 15. We are tied at 51. 16 minutes to go in the game. Backdoor to Jordan. He is fouled and will get an opportunity for a 3-point play.
Nobody was back for Duke. Michael Jordan had gotten behind the pack. Dan Mahar tried to come back, but Jordan simply penetrated around him, put a lot of pressure on Billis. There you see Mahar coming back, was caught flat-footed by Jordan, and as he penetrated through the lane, he was fouled by Jay Billis.
Dan, you wondered how Michael would play the second half. Just as aggressive as ever. 13 in the ball game. Making 14 for Michael, and a 3-point North Carolina lead, 54-51. We'll be back with more basketball right after this.
On a wonderful day like today, I defy any cloud to appear in the sky, dare any raindrop to plop in my eye. On a wonderful day like today.
Subaru presents the only full line of on-demand four-wheel drive vehicles in America. So now, every day can be
a wonderful day like today.
See the yellow pages for your local area Subaru dealer.
Jack, glad you could come. I wanted to talk to you about getting some more life insurance. Can you wait a few minutes?
Sure. Can I give you a hand?
What sets the Jefferson Standard agent apart from others is not just that he sells a variety of innovative insurance policies or that he's trained to give sound financial advice. It's that little extra he gives his clients.
Take him for a ride. Thought we were going to talk about insurance. We will.
Jefferson Standard. We give a little extra.
Winning. An uncompromising dedication to excellence, quality, and value. Being the best at whatever you are. Being a winner. Simply because there's nothing else to be. Leggett invites you to take the Nike Challenge. Active shoes that meet the world head-on. Overcome. And challenge you to do the same. Winners, Nike and Leggett.
Remember to stay tuned. At the end of the game, we'll be picking a Holly Farms player of the game from each school. North Carolina leading Duke by 3 with 15:56 to go in the game. Great shooting again here in the second half, Dan.
Duke 5 of 5 in the second half. You can see North Carolina 6 of 9. Michael Jordan coming on strong in the second half. He's got 6 points. He's 3 for 3.
After a 3 for 11 performance from the field in the first half.
Now North Carolina in the presence of Steve Hale showing a little bit of pressure full court. Johnny Dawkins doing a nice job to maintain his dribble.
Good pass by Mahar, and we are going to get a foul on Michael Jordan, and that is his 4th personal.
And there's 15 minutes and 42 seconds left in the second half. That foul was created by Johnny Dawkins. Johnny Dawkins did not pick up his dribble against the double team and get himself in trouble. As the double team came, he kept his dribble backed up to give himself some passing room, made a great pass down the court, and created a situation where Jordan was out of position inside.
Jordan sits down with 14 points and 5 rebounds. From outside, rebound Amaker after the Henderson miss.
Henderson in the ballgame for Billis.
The jump hook by Henderson does not connect. That was not a good shot. Kenny Smith with the ball for Carolina. Little two-man play between Smith and Brad Doherty. They'll work at the other side to Doherty. Now that's Matt Doherty from 12, yes.
Duke never really looked like they got set in their defense. They were trying to play the man-to-man. It looked like they were running around trying to find their men. North Carolina taking advantage and getting a 5-point lead.
This is the biggest lead that either team has enjoyed in the ball game. Henderson inside, and they're going to call an offensive foul on David Henderson. Good position by Sam Perkins.
Once again, Duke did a nice job moving the ball around against the double team, but the double team isn't the only part of the defense. You could see Henderson put the ball way up in anticipation of Sam Perkins coming to block it, but Perkins stayed on the floor and drew the charge, and that's now 4 fouls on David Henderson.
So both clubs with the player in some foul difficulty. Carolina with the ball and a 5-point lead.
Carolina has spurted here. That's 5 points in a row, and we've been sitting here the whole time waiting for one team or another to put it together for a little run. That might be enough.
Not a good pass that time to Sam Perkins. Dawkins pulls up at the line and gets it to fall.
Boy, he's such a good transition player. Really seems to be comfortable with the ball on the fast break like that.
17 points for Johnny Dawkins. He and teammate Mark Alarie lead all scores.
Duke back to that 3-2 zone now as McNeely has come in the ball game and Henderson is out.
Now the lob for Perkins on the back door. Pressured. Alarie trying to stop the pass into Perkins is called for the reach around.
Won't get any complaint from the Duke bench about that. Perkins with good position inside. Alarie could not get around. Anytime you come over the shoulder of a player like that, you're almost always going to get a foul.
Jay Billis will come in. Alarie will sit down with the 3rd personal foul for a couple of moments. I'm sure he will be back in the ball game very quickly.
Well, there's a lot of time left in the game, Jack, and that's some pretty serious foul trouble.
The inbound pass to Doherty for the shot that went awry, and Duke with a chance to close the margin to 1. Dawkins over Hale. Good again.
Johnny Dawkins has taken over for Duke. Duke down by 5 is now back within 1.
Inside to Perkins over Billis. Left it short. Rebound, Doug McNeely.
Billis did a nice job keeping Perkins from getting around and forcing him to shoot that little jumper.
Tommy Amaker cut off. Did a good job of holding the pivot foot. Dawkins from way outside. That was from downtown Durham.
Dawkins felt it, and I think that's why he shot it. It was not a good shot.
Smith on the run, off the catch, no. Brad Doherty touched the ball last. It will belong to Duke. 13:25 to go in the game. Looking right over the shoulder at Tommy Amaker as the Duke Blue Devils trying to regain the lead. That shot by Dawkins was his first miss in the second half. Baseline, back out to Billis. Boy, Jay is hesitant about the shot. Dawkins is not. Perkins with another rebound. 3-on-2 break for Carolina. Matt Doherty, somehow that ball didn't go in.
What a great jump stop by Matt Doherty. He caught the ball, came right down, solidly positioned, but he just didn't get it to go in the basket.
Tommy Amaker working against another freshman, Kenny Smith. He's in trouble. Billis open at the foul line. And a foul underneath.
It's going to be against Brad Doherty. Danny Mahar battling Doherty very hard inside, got excellent position. Billis with the jump shot from the free throw line. Perkins puts excellent pressure on him. The ball comes off very hard. You can see right there, just as Mahar gets ready to jump, Doherty put his hand on his back, got him out of the way. And that's Doherty's third personal foul. We may have Dean Smith playing one-on-one against Mike Krzyzewski before this is over.
Who would you give the advantage to in that one?
Krzyzewski's younger and quicker.
Dawkins working around Matt Doherty. Oh, it made a nice pass to Alarie, but Mark was going the other way. There you see the foul situation. Both clubs with one man at 4.
And some pretty important people at 3.
Inside, Brad Doherty over Billis. No. Dawkins can't battle Joe Wolf, and the rebound stays with Carolina. Kenny Smith got in trouble, but got it off to Matt Doherty. Matt has had problems getting the ball to fall, and Carolina again sees Duke come away with the ball.
I'll tell you what, Jack, there's really some battles going on inside. Every time the ball goes up on the boards, we hear about 6 or 8 grunts.
These guys look physically tired, Dan. There's 12 minutes to go in the game.
It's been an up and down game. I think this is the textbook definition of end-to-end basketball, so it's not surprising that they're tired.
11:59 remaining in the second half. 56-55. Carolina on top. Back after this word from Bud.
In Olympic bobsledding, our lives depend on our equipment. She's got to hold together under more G-forces than a space shot. The whole team pitches in, because coming down the run, this sled's all we've got.
To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic efforts, this Bud's for you.
Teamwork, the essential ingredient on any basketball team. The job each person must do if the team is to succeed. At Food Line, success depends on teamwork too. Each member of our team is trained to do a specific job well, whether it's cutting meat or putting groceries in your car. When you visit Food Line, you know everybody is working together to help you save money on your groceries. That's the only way we know how to play the game.
Remember to stay tuned at the end of the game. We'll be picking a Holly Farms player of the game from each school. We've got about 3 or 4 candidates from each club. 11:59 remaining. The pressure has picked up a little bit, Dan, and we have had a few more turnovers here in the second half.
First half went by, Duke with 3 turnovers, Carolina with 4. We've already had more than that in the second half. I think it's a combination not only of the pressure, but also of the fact that these guys are getting a little bit tired. They've played very hard. The entire basketball game, Duke hasn't substituted that much. What a catch.
And Billis is tied up for a jump ball by Steve Hale, and the alternate possession will go to North Carolina.
Nice defensive job by Steve Hale, but now Jay Billis caught the ball in there. Dawkins threw the ball into a crowd, and Billis came out with it. Sam Perkins checks back in the basketball game. Nobody scored in a while. We've gone about 2 minutes, and nobody has scored. And that really tires you out. We said that in the first half. Running up and down constantly and not scoring any points really wears you out.
Doherty, Hale, Kenny Smith, Joe Wolf, and Sam Perkins for Carolina. Kenny Smith with the long-range jumper. The first basket of the afternoon for the freshman.
Kenny Smith, as we mentioned earlier, had a big last couple of minutes of their first game to help out Carolina.
McNeely, no rebound, Wolf. Boy, Amaker made a great pass. McNeely just couldn't get it to fall.
And it wasn't a bad shot. McNeely was inside close.
Perkins got a hand on the ball and kicked it out of bounds. It will still be Carolina's ball on the far sideline. There you see the concern on the face of Mike Krzyzewski.
He knows that his team, that is Mike Krzyzewski, there you see Dean Smith. Krzyzewski's squad has stayed in the basketball game by taking advantage of opportunities.
Steve Hale did not make a good pass to Sam Perkins. Dawkins to Amaker. And they'll reset. 11 minutes to go here in the second half. 58-55 Carolina. Dawkins from the corner. Dawkins, after hitting 4, has missed 4. Smith caught up in the air, but dishes it off to Doherty. Joe Wolf with the follow.
Last couple of times down the court, Jack, Duke has created some good shots, some good opportunities, but they've missed them, and Carolina is able to stretch out their lead to 5 points once again.
And Carmichael is as loud as they've been since the opening of the ball game.
Good pressure by North Carolina.
McNeely against Doherty. They've got to get the ball in the hands of Alarie. Dawkins will take it from outside. Not a good shot.
Dawkins looks out of control the last couple of minutes. He's taken some tough shots and missed them.
And we'll get a jump ball the other end, and it'll turn over to Duke on the alternate possession. That time, Kenny Smith put Steve Hale in a bad situation.
Same thing that happened to Jay Billis down on the other end when Steve Hale tied up Billis and forced the jump ball. Pass inside into a big crowd of opponents, and Hale just couldn't handle it.
David Henderson has come back into the lineup. He has got 4 personal fouls. Buzz Peterson will come into the ball game for North Carolina, replacing Steve Hale. You mentioned that Mark Alarie has not touched the ball much here in the second half, but 15 points in the first half, just 1 basket in the second half, Dan. That's something Duke is going to have to work on. They are not getting in the ball. We'll have to see if that is just Duke's offense or Carolina's defense.
Nice pass by Amaker. That's a big basket for Duke to find Billis all alone inside. I think it's a combination of both. Sam Perkins is matched up against Alarie defensively for North Carolina, and he's done a good job so far in this half.
You see the clock in the lower right of your screen. We are under the 10-minute mark. Inside to Wolf as he and Mahar is pushed and shoved. The rebound, Alarie and Wolf, not a good foul.
Duke was in that defense, the 3-2 zone with Alarie out on the top. That time Alarie did a nice job getting down inside for the defensive rebound. Tough pass over the zone. Wolf probably could have get himself a little more set to take that shot. There's Billis come flying out of the picture and Alarie getting the ball. Really a battle going on inside. It's been very physical inside.
Joe Wolf now with 3 personal fouls. Brad Doherty will come back in at the next stop and play for Carolina.
Carolina back to the 1-3-1 zone now. Once again, they're switching defenses. Duke has to recognize.
Anderson picked up the dribble but was able to get it off to Amaker. Looking inside, they can't find anybody. Mahar on the baseline, 15 on the shot clock.
Good zone by North Carolina. The guys have their hands up and they're active.
Shot clock now under 10. Amaker on the baseline. Out to Alarie. He looks up at the scoreboard. Henderson will fire the long jumper and it wow. With 5 seconds on the shot clock, David Henderson, he's got 12 in the ball game.
It's a 16-foot jump shot. Good shot for Henderson. North Carolina played well in the zone, but Duke finally wore him down.
Carolina's gone a long time with Michael Jordan on the bench with 4 personals. Smith misses the rebound, whacked off the face of Dan Mahar. I don't know if it was the ball or a hand that caught Danny in the face.
I think it was Matt Doherty.